There's no business like show business, like no business. I know everything about it is appealing.
I'm Shivani Davé. Some of you may know me as a Division I tennis player, or some of you may know me as a stand-up comedian. But let's be honest, most of you do not know me at all. That's why I'm bringing my more well-known comedian friends, ask them some tough questions, test their tennis skills, but of course, talk some shit. This is Smackin' Balls, Talkin' Smack. Gary Gulman is a stand-up comedian, writer, actor, and one of the smartest joke writers in comedy. Gary has released 5 TV specials, including the acclaimed stand-up specials The Great Depression and Born on Third Base on HBO Max. His memoir, Misfit, and he's appeared in Joker alongside Joaquin Phoenix and on Amy Schumer's hit series Life and Beth. Catch Gary currently touring his sold-out, off-Broadway one-man theatrical comedy show, Grandiloquent.
Such a beautiful game, right? With the angles,
Yeah.
the yellow ball.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
What if I yelled at him? Come on.
Yeah.
Think.
You should. You should. Well, thank you for doing Smack and Balls.
Oh no, I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, that makes me so happy. You don't understand. I think I said this to you, embarrassingly so, but you are like the dream guest.
Oh really?
Look, come on. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Athlete,
thank you.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite
but not
comics.
not
intellect.
tennis athlete. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me put on my Apple Watch so that I can keep track of my heartbeat.
Okay, please do.
Okay.
Let us know if we need anything. We
Yeah.
don't have any medical people on staff right now,
No,
but we'll get it. I'm Indian. I'll
I'm
figure it out.
old, but I don't think I'm in danger.
Okay. No, you look
Yeah,
great. I
thank
think.
you.
Look at this outfit. We're rolling, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
I figured by the tone that we were trying to capture this. Look at this outfit. Let's
at-
give you a quick drip check. These are KD's Slim Reaper
I love it.
with some Asics socks, the Patagonia cargo shorts. This is an Asics top. It wicks sweat, which that's a claim that has anybody followed up on either the verb wick? Are we really?
I mean, tell
is
us
the
more.
sweat being wicked? It's hard to say. I feel sweaty, less sweaty, but only because it's thinner.
We're in the middle of choosing who we want to sponsor us, so thank you for
nice.
this. You have
Okay.
5 brands, so we'll
Yeah.
decide. We'll decide. But Gary has representing most of the brands, so thank you.
Yes.
You said, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard you say on some interview that you looked up and admired Brian Regan.
Oh
Is that-
yeah.
And like almost to a point so much that he made you feel like it was intimidating to do stand up. Yeah.
Yeah, the people you watch and make you want to quit. But then I heard this great thing by a drummer, a deceased drummer named Neil Peart from the band Rush. And he said, I don't understand the people who watch me and want to quit. When I watch somebody who's great, it makes me want to be that good. And so that I think is a healthier approach to all our endeavors is
see.
to not be intimidated by people, but to be inspired and motivated by them. But it's very quick to say, well, why bother? This person has done it so beautifully, and then, but it hasn't been done with our voice. So that's
Well, that being said,
with our background.
you are my Brian Regan.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I bet you are a lot of people's Brian Regan. Yes.
Wow.
So we'll just. I'm serious.
It's an honor, and I
Yeah.
won't squander it.
Okay. Thank you.
I
Please
accept
don't.
it and will continue to try to work hard. What thing took you a long time in tennis to master, and then once you did, you're like, why was this?
Well, I was gonna say that you get to one level, then there's another thing you need to achieve, and then another, and I'm sure you understand that, but that maybe there's a theory for that. But so for me, it was, okay, I'm gonna get #1 in New England, then I'm gonna be this high level in the nation, then you're gonna get recruited, and then you get to D1 level, and you're like, oh, there's a whole nother level. And I actually think it just becomes like a little bit, you just have to keep pushing, and I imagine that could be stand-up too. Once you find your audience, now you're like, what type of venue am I gonna sell out?
Oh yeah, do I want to sell more tickets? But I honestly feel I'm not at a contented level in terms of the craft, but you get contented at the level of the size of the audience and the living you're making, and you're like, all right, if I could just continue like this without worrying about selling tickets or anything like that, I would be very happy, and that's where I am now.
I worked with you pretty early on, and I was so thrilled. And despite our looks and height difference, we have a lot in common.
Yes.
Which is, one, both from Massachusetts.
Yep.
Both played D1 sports.
Yeah.
We both worked in corporate America.
Yeah.
PW, we'll talk about that. I worked, you studied accounting, I studied finance, and then now stand-up comics, but I think all those similarities, kind of when I first saw you, I saw you at the Cellar. I wasn't doing stand-up comedy. I just was a consumer of comedy, loved it so much, and saw this tall man in the McDougal room. The whole time I go, is he gonna hit his head?
Yeah, my head would scrape the stucco on top of the stage. Yeah.
And thought you were hilarious, looked you up, and I was like, whoa, this guy is like me, but I'm Indian and I'm a woman.
Right.
No,
right.
but seriously, I
right.
looked
But
up
being the child of first generation or second generation families, it's it's a weird pressure in terms of what you're allowed to pursue.
Yeah.
Because the family is so insecure and so frightened about finances, and rightfully so. They struggled so hard.
Yeah.
And then so to encourage somebody to go into this frivolous activity, it
perceived
pains,
as,
it pains them. But what they don't realize is that they're saying that they don't believe in us. And I would say to you, when you were beginning, look, everything you've put your mind to, you've achieved at such a high level. And if we only knew to say that to our parents, or our families, they're just they're pretty powerful voices.
Yeah, that's true.
And remain so.
Yeah. Tell me what your experience in tennis is.
Okay.
I
played on my own a few times without any instruction. I think my two brothers are good at tennis. But they hung around after college with people who were into tennis, which I think makes you into tennis.
Well, hopefully they'll catch this and.
No, I hope they don't watch it. And I don't care. I don't care for my older brothers, but it's not that I don't like them. I don't even think I can tolerate them.
I have heard you with the last Gary. Pizzazz of Gary Gulman, which we'll definitely chat about. But I did hear you talk about them a little on stage.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned
they're just
some
mean
stuff.
and critical.
But you have a wide
people.
range of age, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah,
I have a wide range of gripes.
Yeah. Well, we got into the family stuff early. That was topspin. That was the topspin.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about. Nice. I love it. Good job. Well, my little connection to Peabody. Almost every Sunday as a child, my mom threw a bunch of us Indian girls in a van and took us to Indian dance class. Where my dance teacher was there. So
excellent.
For me, it was my parents were like, you got to keep your Indian roots. And,
I love that.
We're going to make you do some dancing. We're going to go. I also went to Sunday school. I think you went to Hebrew school, right?
Yeah, the interesting thing is that your parents provided an explanation for why you were doing these things that was logical and enriching, whereas my parents said, you're going to Hebrew school because your brothers went.
Oh,
and you are not allowed to have any advantage over them. So, my word.
My word. Well,
I'm glad I went now. I wish I was going now because I would appreciate certain things, but really it was just kind of a religious and in many ways political indoctrination into a way of thinking. But I did learn a lot about the Old Testament.
Okay, yeah.
And so it informs a lot of my reading. And when I went to Boston College, I took an Old Testament class, and I was like Albert Einstein in a math class, a high school math class.
Yeah.
I could answer everything because I had studied it for 5 years.
Right.
And I don't know if this is the same thing with studies of Indian history and things, or certain myths, or or fables, but everything in the Old Testament they taught as if it was historical fact.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so it just made me a very frightened little boy.
You know, a lot of what, nice shot. I love that. You're a frightened boy. Boom. No, and you're talking smack about the Old Testament. That's perfect. So we're here for it. I mean, you know, so my Sunday school, you learn language, and then you did a cultural session on a Sunday.
Okay.
I'd learn Gujarati. I'm Gujarati.
Okay. Tell me what that means.
It's a type of Indian. It's part of a particular state in India called Gujarat.
Is it a religious or?
It's like your region.
Oh, okay.
And then I speak Gujarati.
Ah.
And I have you might appreciate this, but short for Gujarati is good Jew. Like, and I sometimes at shows will be like, "Where are my good Jews at?"
Oh my gosh.
And then sometimes I've had white boys go,
"Yeah, of course."
Here. And one time that happened, they're like, "No, we thought you said good Jew."
Yeah.
And I go, it blew my mind. And I was like, this is amazing.
It's amazing.
We've come together.
Yeah.
You'd connect well with my brother. It's just 7 books at once going on. It's crazy. I'm like, did you finish that one yet? And he's like, I'm still in it. I'm still processing, you know?
I read 3 books simultaneously, and I do a chapter of each. And that's my friend Brian Kiley, who's a comedian. He calls that the cycle, because he does the same thing.
Cool.
And then I see how many I can do, but it's it's my favorite thing in the world.
People know you played football at Boston College.
Yeah.
Was it pushed on you? Was it something you had an inner passion for?
No, it was pushed on me subtly, or not so subtly, in that my oldest brother and my father revered athletes and Boston sports teams, and so it implicitly they were saying, we love these people. We could love you more and be more excited about you if you were good at these things. And so that's a tremendous drive and motivation. And I also had, because I was very sensitive and timid, I had these feelings of being less masculine that I wanted to counteract the way I was coming off by being athletic, so that I couldn't be called weak or feminine or things like that. So it was, it was so much psychology involved, but I don't think that's an uncommon reaction, especially at that time. And
oh, there we go. Dual, good job.
And in that region, men were real macho and chauvinistic where I grew up.
Yeah. Again, with the perfect timing with what you just said. It sounds like there was a little pressure to play football, but you ended up being good at football. So when you started realizing you're pretty good at this sport, did you get gratification from it?
It was this way for a guy who didn't feel very good about himself or very masculine to, so when they came and recruited me, it was it was very appealing, but I think deep down I knew that it would ultimately be my undoing.
For me as a female athlete, it did something for me that it opened up a world of confidence that you don't have, and sometimes coming up in high school, and then just being like, I'll be honest, not as smart as my brother. My parents were like, all right, she's into sports. Let's make her do this well.
My self-esteem was completely tied into how well I performed.
Right, yes.
And in basketball, it was shot to shot. And in football, it was play to play. And so it was just, and there's part of that in stand-up comedy too, joke to joke.
Right.
And you don't have a choice if you want to enjoy yourself doing stand-up. You have to be able to either move on, or this is a fun thing to do sometimes, acknowledge how bad you are.
Oh. Sometimes it's
makes
easy
you very,
in sports.
very vulnerable, but also it's kind of a cool thing to see the comedian, like Johnny Carson, sort of, I don't think he invented it, but he was a master at bombing and saving it through self-deprecation.
Sure. Yeah. How was that? I can tell you about my experience, but I think how was the first semester as being a student athlete for me was kind of a disaster.
Oh, same.
It was so tough.
So hard to make a friend on the.
Make friends. I don't know. You were studying accounting. How do you keep up with school? I remember coming back from matches and scrimmages, and they're pinning you against each other. I just came back to my dorm. I remember crying. I couldn't study. My grades started slipping.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How was that first semester for you?
It's interesting because I was so bad on the field that it's sort of like what you did with your brother. He'll be the smart one. I'll be the athlete.
Yeah.
And so I'll raise the team's grade point average by doing really well, and they'll appreciate that. But then at some point, depression took over. I was having a hard time studying enough to do well.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is that comedy was the best friendship maker on that team.
Oh,
you immediately find the people who share a sense of humor when that's your go-to is humor. And so that got me through it's got me through my life. I mean, it's even without doing it for a living and meeting my wife at a comedy club.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well,
just being funny and enjoying humor has been like this blessing. And I don't think that's hyperbole to say that our facility with being funny, I think it's a gift and a blessing.
I'm 100% with you. I'm curious to hear how would you think your football teammates would have described Gary Gulman at that time?
Hilarious.
Perfect.
Soft. Strong in every measurable category in terms of bench pressing, running, jumping. Put him on the field, he will be overwhelmed by aggressiveness and the complexity of the plays. That's what they would say. But you find your people, it's so interesting, even amongst non-Jewish football stars, half African American, I was able to find my people from that group, and it's part of my personality, I guess, is to know the value of friendship.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
And also I found, probably through my mom, that the best way to make friends is to be funny.
Yeah, comedy is a savior.
Yeah.
Although, my dad was a pretty intense man and serious, he was also like the funny one.
Really?
At a party, cracking the jokes, everyone laughing.
Like, what was his, did he like watching comedy?
He didn't really love TV on in the house, but he let Seinfeld was on.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
But Kramer was that character for him, because that's in Indian humor, sometimes practical humor is funny, right?
Yeah.
The physical stuff, falling over, coming into the apartment, that kind of stuff was hilarious.
Because probably they were getting a lot of imports where they couldn't understand the language, but were getting the physical maybe.
Yeah,
Could that be part of it?
Yeah, and then I'll tell you this thing my mom told me recently. My dad passed a couple years ago, so we've been sharing stories. Thank you. And she said that he was the guy at the party telling non-veg jokes. Which, in turn, what I learned, non-veg jokes are just kind of slightly edgy, dirty jokes. Wow. Maybe not that dirty in our kind of world today, but the jokes that kind of touched a little bit on relationships.
And where does the term non-veg come from?
Historically, Indians are like vegetarian. Yeah. Right? So the non-veg is like a little bit risque. Which I'm still trying to figure out how to talk about that on stage, but I think it's hilarious. There's something funny about that terminology.
It is.
A joke that's risky. Yeah. But
I think you can talk that out on stage.
Yeah. So that's how your football teammates would describe it. How do you think your comedy peers would describe you today?
Oh.
As a juxtaposition here.
Hopefully hardworking and generous.
Yeah.
I try to emulate the people who are very, very giving in terms of mentorship and insight and positive feedback.
You definitely did that for me. I'll tell you
good.
That.
Because
that first time I did Pizzazz with Gary Gulman, it's kind of your workshop show that you do at really good venues. Like I did it with you for the first time at Caveat, Union Hall, UCB. Oh my God, your intro like probably gave me another, it was just the kindest intro in the world. You had seen some clip of mine, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so just the nicest intro in the world, and your show's great. He hosts it, you host it.
Yeah.
You run your material.
Yeah, the great thing about it is that I do it in front of about 60 people, so it's not that hard to fill. And they don't pay very much, so I don't feel like I have to have everything tied up and dotted.
Yeah.
So it's very free, and sometimes you'll see jokes that I'll never do again. And sometimes you'll see parts of jokes that become things that become closers, right? So it's just, I remember Dave Attell saying about comedy and getting better at stand-up, you need a place to kill and you need a place to bomb.
What's the key thing you think you've brought to comedy from your sports experience?
I don't know if you ever did this warm-up thing.
Let's see it.
Where's my camera? All right. This is the warm-up thing we used to do. And, all right.
Oh, yeah.
We called it, some people called it hot cross buns or karaoke or
like
crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
And, and
Oh
in
God.
high school and in college,
Yeah.
I used to, this is what I would do. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing. And the homophobic slurs would come out, but some people would laugh hysterically.
Oh my gosh.
And I had 7 different show tunes I could sing, and it was very fun.
And that's why you're doing a one-man show on Broadway, Grandiloquent. That's why you were meant to be on the theater stage. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for making me feel like I could still do that.
Oh,
it's a little bit of a weird, odd coordination,
it's easier
right?
than you think.
But
and better
okay, so
than it feels.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, serve it up. Whoa.
Oof.
There we go. You know, your first serve and your second serve are kind of 2 different approaches.
Right.
You know, your first serve, you're going a little bigger, a little harder, faster.
It reminds me of a mindset within comedy in serving, which is, I imagine there are people who refuse to make any adjustment to their second serve after faulting on the first, right? They're going to try to hit it just as hard, and it was just a fluke, and it's not going to happen again because it just happened. It's like the shooter who just missed a shot and is going to take the same shot even from a further distance in basketball. But there's a mindset in comedy where a joke doesn't go well and you can withdraw, and there's also the possibility the audience is going to sense your insecurity and you will lose them. But there's also those comedians who dig in and double down, and those can be some very special moments. And it's a similar mindset. No, I'm right.
Do you think it's like that kind of Bill Burr moment in Philly? Yeah, right? Where he he doubled down.
Yeah.
He went for it.
Yeah. He faulted.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, no,
and then
I'm
he
going to
tried
come
to
back.
hit it even harder on the set. Yeah. That's a great analogy.
He went for a risk there.
Yeah.
I think
totally.
Yeah, we'll put that. We'll remind people what that is, but it's a great clip if people haven't seen it. Yeah.
No, it's
and Boston guy.
It's unforgettable. Yeah, and that's a very Boston mentality. Just the idea that you're not backing down, and I will not show them fear, and that's just going to strengthen them.
Was the Boston comedy scene like coming up? You came up in the '90s, right? Is it coming up in? I started in New York City, even though I'm from Mass.
Wow.
But would you say that rugged, tough, maybe a little more vulgar? You can describe it better than me. Was that something that is the foundation of who you are? Your comedy?
I think it gave me an opportunity, because one thing that I will say was there was an edgy, leaning towards the aggressive type of comedy and hostile and angry. Because Dane Cook was very big at the time when I started. He was only in it for 3 years maybe, and Robert Kelly and Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neill. And so you just didn't want to sound like those people compared to the other greats of that time, Don Gavin, Paul D'Angelo, Tony V, and Lenny Clark and people like that, and Jay Leno to a lesser extent because he had moved on so much earlier. So it was a great place to start at the perfect time because it wasn't that easy to get on stage. So you had to really work hard. It's like a tennis court.
Yeah.
There's only so many tennis courts available, and so it's interesting because
in good quality as well.
Yeah.
Good quality matches, good quality tournaments. Because you can keep doing the shit. You also need to perform with some of the best.
Yes.
You need to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep that mass holiness in me, even though I didn't start there.
Totally.
Sometimes it gives me that listen.
Yeah.
Okay, this is maybe a little bit of a tougher crowd, or maybe a little bit they're gonna come back at me. I'm gonna go back at them.
Yeah.
Stuff
I
like
love
that. But that's cool. That's interesting. I was curious to hear how that felt for someone with your kind of wit and your thoughtful comedy.
Yeah.
How does that feel coming up in a time, an era in Boston where is that the type of crowd that you're playing to today, right?
Right. And it makes you versatile, but ultimately I could not do well in front of those crowds now with what I do now. I'd have to go back 15 or 20 years. But one thing that I was thinking about when you talked about finding better competition in your tennis, there's a version of that in comedy as well, because I always used to say, you don't want to be the best person in your area. You want to be able to look at other people and say, oh, it's difficult to follow that person. I need to get better, or I want to be that good.
Yeah.
That I think is the mindset you want to have. I would like to be that good. I think I can get better. And that's what happens in tennis. Now, sometimes you play somebody, because I know this happened in basketball, that's so good that you're just discouraged. But that's a good lesson to overcome the discouragement, because there's a lot of it.
You're I don't want that to happen
in
again.
comedy. Yeah, so you work harder. And then there's this thing in comedy where there are things you can do to make it a little more difficult for yourself. Go on first.
Bullet.
Dig yourself a hole. Go on when they're dropping checks.
Yep.
And that can test yourself. So that was a thing I used to do in Boston, as I wasn't ready for New York, but I was the best person on a lot of the shows that I did in Boston.
Right.
After about 6 years. And so I said, all right, can I go on first? Can I go on during a check spot? Can I bomb for 5 minutes and then win the crowd back?
Right.
Yeah.
Those are like you're talking about, you remember those tough moments in sports that help you recover even within a game, within a set, whatever. In comedy, hosting a lot.
Yes.
Being able to, if you can crush up top.
Yes.
And then also taking the bullet or the checks come. But if the best can do those spots, then why can't you do those spots and still figure out a way to bring the energy up?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great analogy. This is the deuce side.
Okay.
And then this is the ad side.
Okay.
So typically you start in the game, you start serving on the deuce side. When the score hits 40-40, that's called deuce.
Yeah.
So this is the deuce side.
Yeah.
And if you, I think the word deuce in French means win by 2. I'll have to fact check. We can fact check myself here on this. But when you say win by 2, you are on deuce, it's 40-40. If you win that point, now it's ad for the server.
Yeah.
If you lose it, then you go back to deuce.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently the scoring in tennis came from this could be a big generalization, but English mispronouncing French words.
Oh, wow.
So the 15, 30, 40 were there.
Yeah.
But then love was supposed to be like lu or something, and then the English just said love.
Wow.
But also, I think that for egg, which looks like a 0 in French, is like something like that, and then they just start saying English and
Interesting.
love. We'll double check all that. You have an advantage way over me, is that your height is higher than the net.
Yeah.
So I've never known what that feels like, to be honest.
I've heard it's an advantage.
I think I heard you use the word, probably not talking killer instinct. I'm really curious to hear what do you think it means when someone has killer instinct? I hear it a lot. You hear it with athletes.
To me, the killer instinct always felt like somebody who is able to suppress that, discount that, ignore that, compartmentalize it, or perhaps they had a higher pain threshold, or had experienced it so much that it really didn't matter anymore. I was just like, I knew going into every play, here comes more discomfort.
Sports can be very discomforting.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy can be very discomforting.
Totally.
So,
totally.
But between you and I, we've seemed to pursue discomfort.
Yeah.
Is that required to do these kind of pursuits, or is it?
It's a great question, and my instinct is to say that we like a challenge, and there's a discomfort in a challenge because in a challenge you're in over your head at various points. But then when you're not over your head anymore and you're good at something, it's so rewarding, and it's such an elation, and you recognize, and hopefully it's cumulative so that you're able to, and I wasn't able to do this right away, but at some point I said, I felt uncomfortable in every pursuit. At some point, I wasn't very good at it, but I liked it enough, and the good feelings involved in it. So when you're first playing basketball, you miss more than you make, but you make enough that it feels good. Most of your jokes don't work when you're first starting out, but the ones that work feel good enough that you want to keep pursuing that and make more shots. And so that's I think something that
and the cycle of stand-up is always
in us, and we were probably rewarded as kids for achieving things that initially were uncomfortable.
Are we psychopaths?
No, because we have a conscience, guilt, shame, and everything that makes you not a psychopath, but that probably holds us back in some of our endeavors. Like if you're completely transactional in comedy, and are cynical, it's a little bit of an advantage in terms of the show business, but it's not an advantage in terms of the art, and that's really all we should concern ourselves with, whether it makes us better artists.
Well, you're bringing up like the boom. You're bringing that's in.
That was my best one.
I don't know if they caught it. It's in. That was great. Oh,
it's beautiful.
I'm not gonna hit you. You did it. I love that. You trust me now.
Did you ever have a problem with swearing after you fuck up?
Oh yeah, I got I had some. I got point penalties. Yeah, I had a little bit of rage on the court.
Yeah.
I think the rage
when I miss a shot.
Yeah. Listen,
painful.
The rage has to go somewhere, right? But he was being really soft there. He was like, no rage. I don't think we can have this conversation without talking about the Great Depression.
Okay.
You know. It's one of the best specials. It's the best.
Thank you.
Produced by Judd Apatow.
Directed by Mike Bonfiglio.
Amazing. Was on HBO. Still streaming on HBO?
HBO Max, yes.
HBO Max.
Yeah.
Such a great special.
Thank
I've sat down. There's not many specials I can sit down with my entire Indian family and watch, and you're one of them.
Oh, my.
Great Depeche. Yeah, Born on Third Base.
My
mom loves you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's very
excited.
What's her name? Kalpana.
Kalpana.
Yeah.
Kalpana and Ramshi?
Rashmi.
Rashmi.
My dad used to say, it's Rashmi, R-A-S-H-M-I, and his joke all the time was like, don't rush me, rush me. That's what he used to say to all the...
That was a Taylor Dane song. Don't rush me.
Ah, yeah.
I made that I think it's Taylor Dane.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. The Holy Trinity of Regret. Yeah.
Holy Trinity of Regret. So the should-have is a problem of mine.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think I've been told by remember what Gulman said. Because it is. I don't know. Is that inspired by trying not to live in a life of regret?
Yeah. And depression exacerbates it. It makes you live in the past to a great extent and also dwell on it. And so, I mean, it's a great source of ideas for stories and jokes, because it's part of the human nature, the human condition, to regret, to wish there was some way you could undo your mistakes, but ultimately it may be a completely wasted emotion unless you can learn from it. But then this is how I try to redeem them. I say, what are you not doing in comedy because you're afraid or you're concerned about being too ambitious or something like that, or pleasing just yourself. And one of the things was doing a one-person show, which I found very intimidating because it involves a different type of writing and a different type of performance.
Yeah.
It requires some acting. And so that was an answer to that. And then the other thing is similar to what you get with every sport, which is I should have been a little bit more prepared.
That's hard.
So I should go over my sets before I go out at night, write up a set list, and if there are new stuff, prepare on the ride over, on the train ride. Subway is such a great place to prepare for your sets in New York City, and so that's what I try to do with my regret, is try to have it spurn rather than rumination and depression, motivation. And then you got to remind yourself that even if you had reached your potential as an athlete, you'd be 20 years into retirement.
Hey,
all right.
That's actually my favorite one today. Yeah, I saw it from behind.
That was number
too,
10.
Because you had your racket pronating that way, taking that kind of lesson of having no regrets. You decided to do a one-man show. We're talking about.
It's called Grandiloquent.
Yeah, Grandiloquent. So I have not had the pleasure of seeing it when it was in New York. I look forward to it.
We're going to film it in the fall, so I'd love to have you as a guest.
I would love it. And and I think, did I hear that Judd is producing that?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So it's success. You guys have a great...
Yeah.
I read your passage in Sicker in the Head.
Oh.
I bought that book.
That's a great book. I love those books. Grandiloquent is a show about my childhood and what it did to me. And it's it came out of this book I wrote called Misfit, available in paperback. I wanted to write a show to tour with it, because some people are writers and they read at their shows, but I knew that people would expect to see stand-up from a stand-up, so I wrote a show about the time mentioned in the book, which is kindergarten through 12, and then I turned that into a one-person show, and that involved a set, a script, and some points where it wasn't very funny, and an arc. And so I had a director work with me on that, a man named Moritz von Stoopnagel. We crafted it together, and it's that idea of 1 + 1 = 3. So it's an experience you have with coaches and directors, and can be other comedians or other actors or writers.
There's a genuine analysis. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I can't leave on a miss. All right, I'll live with that.
Pretty good. No, we got a good one. Yeah, this is good. All right.
This was awesome.
Okay,
Thank you so
and we'll
much.
do a little quick game. It's only fitting. You're an avid reader, more than avid. You are just an intense reader. So I thought
voracious.
Oh, voracious, beautiful. So I thought a book is required as the theme of our game. So it's called The Inner Game of Tennis.
Oh, I love it.
By Timothy Galway. Have you heard of this?
I've owned it, and
I think I recommended it.
Yeah, I've read parts of it.
Yeah.
And it's very overwhelming, but I know that people swear by it.
And he's created a series with different sports.
Yes.
But the reason I bring it up, it's not, yes, we're on a tennis court, but it's not just applicable to sports.
No, I know.
There's a big theme in the book where he talks about a self-1 and a self-2. Your self-1 is your analytical, thinking, like task-oriented, goal-oriented person. That's the part of you. Now, your self-2 is like your present, your adaptive, your kind of performer side of you. The self-1 would maybe be called your conscience, and your sub to your subconscious.
Okay.
So, giving that, I want to give you a couple scenarios, and I want to hear how Gary Gulman taps into self-1 or self-2 during those scenarios.
Okay.
Maybe it's just self-1 or self-2. Maybe it's a combination.
Okay.
This is Smacking Balls, Talking Self. Here's your first scenario. When you're grocery shopping, how are you tapping into self-1 or self-2? Grocery shopping.
Usually self-1.
Self-1? What are you thinking about with self-1? What's happening?
What do I need to get?
Okay.
What am I going to make with it? I'm usually shopping for dinner over the next few days.
Okay.
And definitely dinner that night.
It sounds like grocery shopping's we're doing a lot of self-one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of self-one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very easy segue. Since you said you cook, how about when you are literally cooking? How's your self-one versus self-two?
The problem with cooking is, and I think my wife feels this because her mother was such a resourceful yet aggressive cook, that my wife sees it as more of a chore than I do. Whereas I think of it as something that my mother refused to do. And so there was no anxiety associated with it. It was like, oh, this is a fun little creative thing. And like tennis and life, you can get better at it.
Right.
A lot of times by making big mistakes.
So cooking's interesting. You've shopped for your food through your self-one, and now you get to tap into your self-two and you cook the ingredients.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's a good balance.
Yeah, it really is.
How about you're shooting hoops a lot? How does that feel for you, self-one versus self-two, while playing basketball?
Perfect. I spend most of the shooting in self-two because I'm just trying to secure a feeling of symmetry within my form and bringing everything from my toes up to that last finger.
Yeah.
In synchronicity. And so you're not always thinking, bend knees, follow through,
right.
any of the steps, but you're feeling it along the way. But then sometimes you're then going into self-one, elbow in, elbow in.
Right.
Or where's your signature? Where's your follow through?
Right. And let's just bring it full circle.
Okay.
Stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Let's just bring it full circle and let's analyze self-one versus self-two while you're on stage.
I mean, it was so much self-one for so long, and I remember a friend of mine telling me how robotic I was on stage, and that makes perfect sense. I couldn't feel it, but he was like, you're not coming off natural. The best stand-up I've found is one that's combining the two. The preparation of the self-one, where you know these sentences that need to be said, and you can riff off that in a jazz way. It doesn't have to be the same way every night like Seinfeld preaches, but more of a mix of that, where you have room to inject some improvisation and some whimsy, and be yourself and be present, and not reliant on this script, but able to fall back on it and guided by it in a way.
And I bet in that flow state kind of rhythm, you're probably to an audience also looking like you're enjoying yourself more.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
If you're feeling joy, they will feel. They will feel joy. People.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody. Ultimately, it's just believing in yourself, whereas self-one is making sure yourself is qualified enough and prepared enough, and so it gives and takes. But ultimately, I think the more joyful spot is self-two, and the closer we get to that, the better we are as humans and consequently artists.
Yeah. Yeah, nailed it, Gary Gulman.
Thank you. I had such a great time.
I hope you
That was
did.
Pure joy.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, you're a great coach.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I mean, thank you for doing this. It's just a pleasure to have you on. What were your biggest takeaways today?
Well, how much overlap there is in tennis and comedy and immigrant families.
Yeah.
and siblings and things like that. Yeah. I mean, as Maya Angelou said, we are more alike than we are unalike.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's
across every culture.
Preparing for this today.
There's a version of me and you in every culture.
I love it.
Right? Yeah.
And because we have so many similarities, preparing for you two is just an utter joy. Also because I'm just such a fan, but also
thank you.
I had to also look at intrinsically within myself. So there was torture too.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's good to do that every once in a while.
To think about certain
the
aspects.
unexamined life is not worth living, they say. And then I remember somebody said, the examined life is no day at the beach either. But
tell us what's going on. What do you got? You're excited about?
I'm gonna be performing my newest tour show, Gary Gulman's 7th Hour.
Yes.
Probably closest to where we're recording in July at the Den Theater in Chicago, and then I'll be touring Grandiloquent and then filming it as a special in New York City in the fall.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, those are
so awesome. I'd love to have you there as a guest.
I would love that. I would love to be there.
And yeah, you can wear something similar to this. It's not very what do they call that? Formal. It's not formal.
Okay.
I'll be dressed
in
a blazer and a vest, or as they call it in London, a waistcoat.
I've seen the clips. It's amazing, and
I look super cute in a vest.
And then we always ask one thing at the end: pickleball or tennis?
Ugh. Tennis. Pickleball is a scourge, and if I get my way. If we should retake the House and the Senate and win a supermajority, I will start the pickle prohibition movement.
I love that.
Equal to the women's temperance movement of
you hear that? He's running.
Of the 20th century.
Yeah. Okay. And then we always end that's a great answer. We'll start running that campaign. We always end on a racket flip.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab the top of here. I'll show you first.
Okay.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna basically flip your wrist and let go and grab the handle. So we can do it together. Okay. So ready, 3, 2, 1. Pretty much, yeah, there you go. Yeah. If you move a little bit, you won't hit the, there. Oh, there it is, almost. Yeah, here we go. Nailed it.
Against my body.
Nailed it, yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, great job, awesome. Thank you, Gary.